Real vehicles, the latest tech, and the pros who make it happen. If it runs, rolls, or rips, we've got it here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection. Let's get to work. Motorheads, if you change your own oil, you know what a mess it can be. That oil gets everywhere, especially when you're taking off the filter. And of course, if you have a fleet of vehicles for your business, that becomes a mess all day long, and it can become a safety hazard with all that oil on the floor. There are devices out there to manage that oil and to catch it before it drips down, but there can be really tight spaces in there, and it doesn't always work the way it should. But Baxter Performance has perfected it. Now, Kevin, tell me what the solution is to make cleaner and better oil changes.
Well, we actually perfected it all along with the oil filter adapters that we've had and been selling. We convert from cartridge to spin-on filters, and we needed a way to be able to evacuate the oil so that when you removed the filter from an inverted situation, that we didn't make a big mess, so we incorporated a Schrader valve. Well, that worked out really well.
And that blasts the air in there, and
yeah, and it worked out really well. And then even with our Toyota adapters that mount underneath with a spin-on filter, we found that it evacuated the oil very well there. So why not make it available to everybody that has a spin-on filter? So we've come out with a line of adapters that use the existing filter stud on the vehicle, and what it is just a very thin 3/16 of an inch adapter with the filter stud nut and then a Schrader valve. So what this does is it mounts between the original filter mount and the filter. So you screw it on, it seals nicely, put on your spin-on filter, and voila, it just works, and you hit it with air when you want to change your oil and remove the filter. Nice thing about this too, it not only empties the filter, but it sends all the oil back to the oil pan for one place where you have to remove the oil. And you don't have to have a pan underneath to catch all the oil coming out of the filter because nothing comes out.
And I know with my Toyota, I've got to move that pan around because it's in two different locations.
Right.
So it makes it super simple.
Yeah.
How many different vehicles, what size filters are we talking about?
Well, so initially our line is going to consist of a 3.5-inch adapter, one for the 3-inch diameter filter, and then the 2.65-inch diameter filter, which is very popular on rigs today. And of course, they're at different positions. They can be inverted, they can be sideways, or maybe at a 45-degree angle, or just vertical straight up and down. In either case, it works. And we're also going to have a slightly different dimension so that we can deal with filters that are mounted in kind of a well, if you will, where this application won't work, but we're developing that and have it out very soon.
You have a couple of other adapters right here. What are those pieces?
Right, so in the case where you're not converting from a cartridge filter to a spin-on to use one of our devices, you may have a Toyota that has a cap like this.
And I do.
Yes, and a lot of people do. Toyotas are very popular, right? So you have a small plate that you remove from the filter, and they have devices out there where you can screw on and drain the filter. But we have a very fast way here that we incorporated a Schrader valve here as well. So you just plug it in as a service tool, hit it with air, empties the filter, take it off, doesn't spill a drop, it works out very well. So we also have an adapter to actually attach to the cartridge oil filter cap like you might have on a Volkswagen or Audi.
Which I also do.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We can just screw it right into it, charge it with air, remove that as well, and not a mess.
All of this leads to cleaner oil changes, but it also leads to more effective oil changes. How so?
It does, because not only can we empty hoses and things like that for oil coolers, but we're going to be able to backflow the pickup tube in the oil pan that has a primary filter screen on it and promote removing that debris that otherwise you can't remove unless you take the oil pan off to get to. So it actually works better for that too.
Well, you can get a cleaner oil change, you can get a better oil change with Baxter Performance. You can find them at Baxter Performance USA. We are off to a flying start here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection. Coming up, John and Len are going to talk engine mount service. Hey, it's more interesting than you may think. And up next, a simple tool that can make a big difference for you every single day. Stick around. Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection, brought to you by Biker Guard. If you can't see, you can't ride. Tribotex, Run longer, stronger, and cleaner with nanotech. And by Shockwave Motors. We make electric vehicles cool. Let me tell you a story. About 10 years ago, I bought a used pickup truck and it had a hard tonneau cover on it. And every time I needed to get something out of the vehicle, invariably it had slid all the way up to the cab. And this is what I had to do. This is my routine. Every time I get to the house or I get to the airport, I'm doing that. And I ended up with messy clothes and I ended up sweaty and I hated it. Guess what? There is help. How can you rescue me, Jeff? Please help me with this situation.
Well, listen, we've all done that. It's why we came up with the Bed Buddy. Bed Buddy is a very simple tool. It works really, really well. And it's just something that folks at home probably saying, I use a rake or I use a club or whatever like that. That's great. Bed Buddy is better than all of those. It's 20 inches when it's closed. So it's very small, very compact. You can mount it in lots of different places. But it extends out to a full 5 feet when it's fully open. That'll get you all the way to the back of a standard size pickup truck.
And everybody's looking at this wondering how strong it is. Is this going to hold up to pulling heavy stuff out of the back of the truck?
Right. So there's a case in there you'll see in a minute. Those are about 40 pounds each. We stacked up 6 of those cases on a pallet. It's over 240 pounds and pulled that out of the truck. It's very, very strong. It has a steel tip on it. It's a metal body. It's very, very durable and it holds lots of weight. We haven't broken it yet.
What inspired the birth of the Bed Buddy?
Just like your situation, I was on a family trip out in Idaho, whole truck bed full of luggage, baskets, all that kind of stuff. The only difference was that I wasn't in a nice air-conditioned garage like you are. It was freezing cold outside, the truck was full of snow, and I had to climb on in there and get all that stuff out. I decided that I needed a product that was just at the ready, handy, when I needed it to get all that stuff out. But more importantly, I wanted something that was up and out of the way when I didn't need it. So I didn't have to go and get something. I didn't have to go and get something out of my cab or go get something out of my garage in order to get all that stuff out of my truck. I wanted it to be right where I needed it, when I needed it.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, Jeff said he wanted to have something at arm's reach when he needed it. How do you keep the Bed Buddy handy?
Well, when you first notice the Bed Buddy, you see that it's got 2 27-pound pull force magnets on each Bed Buddy. Each Bed Buddy comes with a mounting plate. That mounting plate is used specifically for trucks that have aluminum beds, heavy round bed liners, or plastic bed liners. Each one of these plates in the package comes with 3 self-drilling 3/4-inch screws. Takes about 60 seconds. You find a flat space vertically or a flat space horizontally in the truck or on the tailgate on the floor bed of the truck. And once you figure out where you want to put it, you drill in the screws, and from there you just attach the Bed Buddy and it always stays right there.
And you made sure it was short enough to mount in a place like that?
Yes, we designed it to be 20 inches so that way you can close your tonneau covers and you never have to worry about it hitting the tonneau cover.
Speaking of tonneau covers, I'm going to roll this one back so folks can see how the Bed Buddy actually works there. So obviously you have to extend it, and for long beds it works because it goes out to 5 feet and that's about all you need.
Right, so most of the time you can open it up to the first 4 feet. More than likely that's going to get 90% of your equipment out. So you grab a box, you pull the box forward, move it out of the way, grab your suitcases when you're at the airport or coming home. Now, most of the time that's all you need. But sometimes you have something like a box that goes all the way to the cab of your truck and you open it up an extra foot. Now you have 5 feet and you take it and you can reach behind, you get to the back of that box and then you pull that box forward.
And that, Dave, is why you don't want to hook. That's why you have the flat spade there at the end.
Correct. The flat spade will help you get in between the cab of your truck and in between the box to pull it out. Now the other cool feature about this is we have all dropped screws or nails or bolts or washers in the back of our trucks.
And they rattle around there all day long?
They rattle around there all day long. You come home from work, you're exhausted, you don't feel like climbing your truck. Well, open up the Bed Buddy, turn around, use the magnets, and grab each one of those products.
Perfect. Same thing if you drop something under the truck as well. Bed Buddy makes things more convenient, but it can also save your body. It's a safety thing.
Yes, it definitely helps. What it helps with is climbing in and out of the back of your truck, whether it's a dry day, it's raining, it's wet, snow, ice, muddy from hunting or fishing, coming home, or being at the spot. It helps save you from having to climb in and out of your truck. It helps saves your knees and saves your ankles. The other thing it helps saves you is when you get in the back of your truck to climb in to get something, you have to use your back. You have to bend over, use your back, grab it, and pull it forward. With this, you no longer have to do that.
No more crawling up on the tire to reach in over the bed. No more crawling into the bed under your tonneau cover. The Bed Buddy is going to change your life if you're a truck owner. You can find it at bedbuddy.com. By the way, if you have a shop and want to become a reseller for Bed Buddy, send them a note, info@bedbuddy.com. Up ahead, John and Len are ready to go, and we have a Motorhead of the Week making a return visit in a slick new restoration you will love. All that and more coming your way on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection.
Some high-performance facts. Top Field dragsters are the fastest accelerating manned vehicles on the planet. They can cover a 1,000-foot drag strip in just over 3.5 seconds. The cars burn about 15 gallons of nitromethane fuel over the course of a single run. And the top speed? 338 miles an hour.
From our Mouse Blocker studio, this is Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection. In today's cars, you can have as much as 1 or 2 miles of wiring underneath the hood, behind the firewall, and running to all of your car's electronic components. Just imagine that, 2 miles. That's as much as 8 Empire State Buildings laid end to end. Now just imagine what happens when rodents move into your vehicle and they chew those wires like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Repair costs, well, that can cost thousands of dollars. And what's more, broken wiring can leave you stranded for days, even weeks at a time. So get Mouse Blocker. It's the simple, effective solution. Mouse Blocker uses safe ultrasonic technology, and it keeps mice and other rodents away from your vehicle. You can protect your investment, save money, save time, protect your investment, save yourself from the hassle. Get Mouse Blocker. Just go to mouseblocker.com.
Now imagine this scenario. You get out to leave, you're backing out of your driveway, put it in reverse, clunk. Back out of the driveway, put it in drive, clunk. You may have a motor mount issue. Welcome to this AMS Oil Tech Tip. That's what we're talking about, motor mounts. What do? Well, they connect the motor to the frame. So you need some kind of vibration dampener to stop that from clunking. Here's one right here, you can see. This one we actually replaced because all the rubber's gone, and that's what the rubber does. It insulates it from hitting. So park, boom. Neutral, boom, drive. Every time you shift, that motor's shifting back and forth. How do you check it? Well, it's super easy. You can do what I just said. You can take a car, you can put it in park, you can put it in drive, you can put it in reverse. As you shift it back and forth from reverse to drive, have somebody out there safely under the hood and watch the engine. When you're watching the engine, you're going to see something like this here. It's going to clunk forward and it's going to clunk back. It shouldn't have too much movement. Those mounts should actually be holding it from shifting back and forth. If you hear the clunk, well, you found the culprit. If you find the culprit, you can take it one step further. You can go ahead and take a pry bar. You can pry up and down on the engine and just check and see which one of the mounts are going to be shifting or moving. To remove a mount, you can see it bouncing right there on the bottom. Now to remove a mount, well, check your manufacturer specifications. Ours was a front-wheel drive engine, so we had to secure the whole engine up. We don't want it to drop because you're removing the mount that holds it to the frame. Take it out. Once you get it out of there, you can see all the oil leak in there, which is a massive problem because that destroys the rubber and has a problem, so you probably want to go back and fix that as well. Put the new mount in, get your torque specifications, torque it up to specification, make sure it's all bolted up, it's tight, it's right, secure it back to the car, and you should be good to go. You're not going to have that problem. But Len, on those engine mounts, you saw the oil leaking. Man, that's a problem. Engine mounts in old cars, it's just something that's going to happen. Old cars have problems with oil too as well.
Right, you talk about high mileage, right? Because people are keeping their vehicles longer and things start to happen. There's a certain time that those seals are going to last, and then you start seeing leaks. Leaks aren't good for anything. Leaks get on rubber, they get on your new driveway, nobody likes that, but they can help deteriorate engine mounts as well. So we recognize that at AMS Oil, and we've built a product for that, and that's our high mileage oil. And it's about the balance in the product. You look at a fully formulated oil, and at the end of your equation, it always has to equal 100%.
Right.
So that means we can move different things around inside that formulary for the oil to bring out different areas. So in the case of the high mileage oil, to combat that oil leak, we'll add seal conditioners, where they'll go in and condition maybe a leaking old hardened seal, and they'll get it back closer to when it was new, stop that leak. That's the reason for the high mileage oil. They're not a gimmick. They actually work, and we can do that with any of our products.
So what about the base fluid though? You're always preaching that the crude oil, base crude oils, it's still a good crude oil.
Right, and synthetics, it's an interesting question because synthetics are essentially petrochemically based, but when we get into a good synthetic, that molecule that we're using in there is no longer crude. That's been reacted several times to build an entirely new molecule. So we use higher end synthetic base oils always.
In all the products, yeah. Well, with some TLC and a visit to amsoil.com, you can keep your old car for years to come.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection, isn't finished yet. We promised you a very cool Motorhead of the Week, and he is just around the corner. Back after this.
Massachusetts and Missouri were the first states to require driver's licenses way back in 1903. But it wasn't necessary for drivers to actually take a test. Which state was the first to require both an exam and a license for all drivers? Ohio, Indiana, New Jersey, or Rhode Island? It was Rhode Island in 1908. Coincidentally, the year the Model T made its debut.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection. Brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, audio for the great classics, customs, and street rods. AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. And by AP Laser, leading the way. For our E-Part Trade Motorhead of the Week, how about a follow-up? Last year, we met Tom Pendleton from Bowling Green, Ohio. Tom bought an old body shop and converted it into his man cave. So cool. He has enough room there to keep his entire collection there, and he has enough space to work on some new projects as well. Here's his latest labor of love. Now, Tom has a 1979 Lincoln Continental. That's a great car in its own right, but check this out. He's hitched it to his newly restored 1978 Airstream Argosy. The interior of this trailer looks amazing, and Tom pays attention to every detail. He even got some vintage 1970s tow mirrors for the Lincoln. That is a cool rig. Tom says it's turned out even better than he hoped. He told me it just makes you giggle when you drive down the road. Well, Tom Pendleton, you are a very worthy two-time E-Part Trade Motorhead of the Week. We are Motorhead Garage, and we are on the road in Torrance, California, at the home of Pro Eagle Jacks. As you can see, they make great jacks for off-road vehicles, but they do more than that. And I want to talk to Chuck Foreman. Now, Chuck, you're the guy behind all of this.
Yep.
I really found your origin story to be intriguing, and it's the why that really makes this cool. So how'd this all start?
Yeah, so in 2012, I actually started with a company called Austin International. We are a private label manufacturer, and we build jacks and a number of other products for some major companies in the United States. At the end of the day, if that jack ever broke down, or say if your warranty expired or whatever it may be, then you just had to throw that jack away and start over again. So I took the idea to build an off-road jack. Nobody was offering a jack directly out of the box, ready to go like that. So I gave the idea to them, and they actually weren't interested in it. They passed on it. They thought that the off-road industry was the white-fendered Ford Rangers and trophy trucks, and they thought that it was that small. And the next day, we decided to do it ourselves.
And it makes it a whole lot easier because you don't have to take that jack back. You don't have to build a new one if something happens.
Exactly, yeah. So we followed up with a 2-year warranty, and we stock all the parts and pieces. So even after the warranty expires, you still have a jack that you can maintain and keep it going forever.
Now, we talked about the why, so let's talk about the how. This is how it all works, and we're going to talk to Molly here. She's the head engineer at Pro Eagle Jacks. Now, Molly, this is your flagship jack here at Pro Eagle. It's a 3-ton jack. What makes it unique? What makes it different from other jacks out there?
Well, the first thing you'll probably notice is these big wheels that allow it to thrive in off-road conditions. We're really excited to be working with BF Goodrich. Our 2- and 3-ton jacks now come with wheels that have the KM3 pattern, which is going to really allow these jacks to take on anything they need to. We also have a skid plate, which allows the jack to slide on the really soft sand and protects it from rocks and anything it might encounter. We also have a solid axle on front and back, so the wheels are not just bolted to the side plate, they're actually connected through an axle. It just gives it that extra ruggedness for those big vehicles.
And that's super important because if you just have a bolt and it's holding the weight of an entire vehicle, that's kind of an Achilles heel right there.
Especially if you're in sort of shifting terrain, you want to make sure that the whole jack can really hold the vehicle. We also have our top plate is specially designed to hold our extension and our different accessories. The internals of the jack are also just really rugged. They've got special seals to keep sand out of the oil and keep everything in working condition.
Now, you've got an award winner here.
Yeah, this one, Best New Product at SEMA. It's our 2-ton. It's Everything the 3-ton is, just size down if you don't need that much. Same thing with the 1.5, even smaller if you don't have a big vehicle, if you just need to lift a UTV. This one's the perfect size, it travels well, and it's a lot lighter.
And this is not a lot lighter. This is your latest iteration of the jack here at Pro Eagle. It's called the Abrams because it's built like a tank. Who's using this jack?
Yeah, so this is more of a hybrid jack. It takes all of the ruggedness that we've learned from years in the desert, but it just pares down everything that the average user in their garage might not need. It's for people with the bigger vehicles or who go off-road once in a while, but generally aren't out racing every weekend, but they still want a rugged jack that's going to last a long time.
You guys told me this is the one that gets passed down to the kids and to the grandkids. Then this is the one
that's the goal,
forever.
exactly.
And it's tough enough to go out off-roading if you need to.
Certainly, it's got the pedigree, it's got the pump that can withstand the off-road conditions, but it also is a little bit simpler, a little bit pared down.
So what in your experience tells you that Pro Eagle's jacks are great?
I raced in the Score Series and I've used other jacks, and I can tell you firsthand there's a lot of things that are lacking that these jacks solve.
Now Chuck's busy over here showing us how it all works. We've seen how Pro Eagle jacks are built like no other jacks, but they're also unique in the way that they work. How are they different from other jacks out there?
Yeah, so aside from the skid plates and the extension, we have the tallest extensions available. We also have different accessories to lock them out to turn each jack into a jack stand.
Cool.
This particular jack is our Abrams jack that Molly showed you. When paired with our 15-inch extension, it gives you almost 3 feet of lift height. And then we also have other accessories like our jack stands that are on the front of these. A 6-ton jack stand gives you almost a foot taller extension height than any other jack stand available on the market.
And you also have mounting brackets for the jacks if you want to take them along with you. But for folks that don't have that kind of space or don't want to carry that much weight, what's another option you have?
Yeah, so we actually have CO2 powered jacks. When you pair those with a Pelican case and a power tank, it gives you almost 4,000 pounds lift capacity.
Thanks, Chuck. These things are amazing. And if you're looking for something to get you up in the air, whether you're on the trail or in your garage, ProEagleJacks.com is the place to go. You can catch up on previous episodes of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Advanced Rust Protection. Of course, we have a YouTube channel, but you can also find us streaming just about everywhere you stream TV and video. And of course, we'll be back in one short week with a brand new show. Until then, so long and drive safely.